Have you ever woken up one morning, looked for your glasses, only to realize they were sitting right on your head the whole time? Or maybe you walked into a room and forgot why you even came there. These little slips might seem harmless, but after 60, they can feel like warning signs, like something deeper is quietly happening inside the brain. What if I told you that the very drinks you pour into your cup each day could either sharpen your mind or slowly drain away the clarity you want to keep? That's not an exaggeration. It's the reality shown by years of observation and studies across the world. Wisdom beyond 60, dear everyone. If you're over 60, you already know how precious memory becomes. It's not just about remembering appointments or where you left the keys. It's about holding on to your stories, your independence, the laughter of your grandchildren, the face of the person you love. And the frightening truth is this: millions of people lose pieces of these treasures every year, not because they didn't care, but because they never knew small daily choices could make such a difference. Think about it for a moment. We often chase expensive supplements, miracle diets, or the latest trends that promise to keep us young. But sometimes the answer is right in front of us, as simple as what we sip with breakfast, during a break, or before bedtime. Research has shown that certain everyday beverages, not rare, not costly, but ordinary, are quietly protecting the brain. They don't claim perfection, and they're not magic, but they do help slow down the silent erosion of memory and support the mind in ways most people ignore until it's too late. I want you to picture two lives. In the first, the days slip by with more and more blank spaces, forgotten names, misplaced items, conversations that fade before they finish. In the second, the mind remains clearer, sharper, more alive, able to enjoy walks, books, family dinners, and laughter that lingers. The difference between those two futures might just be influenced by 3 simple choices you make in the kitchen every single day. That's how powerful this can be. And here's the part that may shock you. Studies show that the risk of memory decline isn't always written in stone. It's not just about age or genetics. Habits, yes, even small daily ones, shape the brain more than we realize. Something as routine as choosing tea over soda, or a warm herbal infusion instead of a sugary drink, can ripple across years of your life. That's the kind of quiet secret we're about to uncover together. So stay with me, because in this video, you're going to discover 3 drinks, simple and familiar, that could become allies for your brain. This isn't about hype. It's about knowledge, choice, and the chance to preserve what matters most: your memories, your clarity, your independence. If you care about living with dignity and strength, if you want your later years to be about more than just getting by, then don't miss what's coming. The information you'll hear today has already helped countless people rethink what they pour into their cups, and it might just change the way you look at your own routine. Before we dive into these powerful yet simple choices, please take a moment to subscribe to this channel, Beyond 60 Wisdom. Your support gives us the motivation to create more content that helps you live stronger, healthier, and more confident in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. Together, we can make this a community where wisdom truly grows with age. And now, let me leave you with a question to think about, and I'd love for you to answer it in the comments. If you had to choose, which would you believe has the greatest influence on your memory after 60? A, the food and drinks you consume each day. B, the number of brain games and puzzles you do. Write your answer, A or B, in the comments below. Your response matters, and it might surprise you how many people think the same way. When we talk about memory loss after 60, many people imagine it as something mysterious, a condition that just arrives without warning. But in truth, there is a deeper connection between what we consume, how our body circulates energy, and the health of our brain. The human brain is like a living garden. It needs water, oxygen, nutrients, and balance to keep its flowers blooming. When those elements are disrupted by stress, poor circulation, or the gradual wear of aging, the mind can start to fade in ways that feel frighteningly familiar. That is why understanding how something as ordinary as a daily drink can influence brain function is more important than most people realize. Science has shown that certain natural compounds act like quiet protectors for the brain. They reduce the slow burn of inflammation that can damage nerve pathways. They keep blood vessels flexible so oxygen reaches every corner of the mind, and they deliver antioxidants that guard against the small but constant stresses of daily life. These are not dramatic changes you notice overnight, but small reinforcements that over time shape the difference between clarity and confusion. Imagine a roof that leaks just one drop of water a day. Ignored long enough, it leaves lasting damage. In the same way, ignoring daily habits can wear down memory. On the other hand, nurturing the brain with the right fuel can strengthen it quietly, year after year. For decades, researchers have observed populations around the world where people remain mentally sharp well into their 70s, 80s, and even 90s. What they often share is not an obsession with expensive pills or elaborate routines, but rather simple, consistent patterns. Many of those patterns involve the drinks they consume. A warm cup of tea that delivers flavonoids, a carefully brewed coffee that provides alertness without excess, or a traditional herbal infusion passed down through generations. These choices carry compounds that matter more than most people suspect. They are not magic solutions, but part of a bigger picture, a lifestyle that supports the brain by supporting the body. When you think of memory, it's easy to focus only on brain exercises, puzzles, or reading. Those are valuable, of course, but they are not enough on their own. The brain is an organ, not separate from the rest of the body. It needs steady blood flow, balanced chemistry, and protective elements to keep functioning. Drinks that improve circulation, lower hidden inflammation, and support energy balance create an environment where memory can survive longer. Without that support, even the sharpest mind can lose ground more quickly than expected. This isn't about fear. It's about empowerment. When you realize that the ordinary drinks you already consume can either add to the brain's burden or ease its load, suddenly you see how much influence you actually have. That cup in your hand is not just about quenching thirst. It's about deciding what kind of future you want for your memory. The choices are not complicated. They don't require rare ingredients or complex rituals. They only require awareness and the willingness to make small adjustments now for clarity that will matter years from today. So as we prepare to look at 3 specific drinks that can quietly serve as allies for your brain, keep this thought with you. Memory is not just about recalling facts. It is about preserving your life story, your relationships, and your independence. And while nothing can stop time, you can choose habits that help you hold on to more of yourself as the years move forward. That choice begins with what you pour into your glass. Among the many drinks we choose each day, one stands out as both ancient and timeless: tea. For centuries, it has been more than just a comforting ritual. It has quietly served as a companion to the mind. What makes tea extraordinary is not simply its taste or its warmth, but the powerful compounds it carries, compounds that modern science now recognizes as allies for the brain. Researchers have found that tea, especially green and black varieties, contains natural elements called flavonoids, which act like shields for brain cells. They help reduce the silent stress that accumulates in our nervous system over the years, and they support healthier connections between neurons, the very pathways that allow us to think clearly and remember vividly. Imagine for a moment the way a garden thrives when it receives steady nourishment. Without it, the leaves droop, the flowers fade, and the soil hardens. But when it is cared for consistently, the garden remains alive with color. The brain is no different. Studies have shown that people who drink tea regularly, often just a few cups a day, tend to experience slower decline in memory and sharper mental function. One analysis even suggested that those who made tea a part of their daily life had a noticeably lower risk of cognitive decline compared to those who rarely drank it. These aren't miracle promises, but steady patterns observed across cultures and time. There's also something more subtle, something emotional about drinking tea. It's not only the chemistry of flavonoids or antioxidants at work, but also the ritual itself. Taking the time to brew tea, to pause, to sip slowly, becomes a moment of mindfulness. In a world where stress can erode the body and the brain, that simple act of slowing down offers its own protection. For many older adults, tea is not just a beverage, it is a daily pause, a reminder to breathe, a quiet anchor in a busy world. This sense of calm directly supports the brain's well-being because mental stress has long been linked with memory problems and cognitive strain. But not all tea habits are created equal. Some people believe that stronger is always better, pouring extra leaves or steeping far too long. In truth, what the brain benefits from is balance, not intensity. A few moderate cups spread throughout the day seem to deliver the best support. Drinking a cup in the morning to awaken the mind, another in the afternoon to refresh energy, and perhaps a gentle herbal tea in the evening to relax. This rhythm creates harmony rather than disruption. Too much caffeine late in the day, for instance, can disturb sleep, and good sleep is essential for memory. What is remarkable is how accessible this choice is. Tea is not rare, not expensive, and not difficult to prepare. It requires no complex recipe, no unusual ingredient, only the willingness to replace something less nourishing with something far more beneficial. Instead of a sugary soda or heavily processed drink, imagine choosing a warm cup of green tea. That one decision, repeated daily, compounds over time, much like saving small amounts of money grows into wealth. Each sip is an investment, not just in hydration, but in long-term clarity. So when you think about protecting your memory after 60, do not overlook what seems ordinary. Sometimes the most familiar choices carry the greatest impact. Tea is more than just leaves and water. It is a bridge between tradition and science, between comfort and protection, between the present moment and the future you want to preserve. And for many people across the world, this simple daily ritual has been one of the quiet guardians of a sharper, healthier mind. Coffee is one of those drinks that sparks strong feelings. For some, it is the morning lifeline, the aroma that signals a new day. For others, it is a quiet ritual shared with a friend, a moment of comfort in the middle of routine. But beyond the taste and the habit, coffee holds qualities that make it more than just a beverage. In fact, research has shown that moderate coffee consumption can play a meaningful role in supporting mental sharpness and memory as we age. It does not offer perfection, but it offers something valuable, a gentle lift for the brain and body that, when used wisely, can help preserve clarity. One of the reasons coffee has drawn such attention from scientists is the way it stimulates alertness. The natural compounds in coffee encourage the brain to stay awake, to focus, and to process information more efficiently. This is why so many people feel sharper after a cup in the morning. But the benefits seem to extend beyond the immediate boost. Long-term studies have found that adults who drank moderate amounts of coffee, not too little, not too much, were less likely to experience severe memory decline later in life compared to those who rarely touched it. The effect was strongest among those who made coffee a regular, balanced part of their routine in middle age, but older adults can still gain from using it wisely. It's important, though, to understand that balance is the key. Too much coffee, especially late in the day, can interfere with sleep, and sleep is essential for memory. The brain restores itself during rest, sorting and consolidating information. Without proper sleep, no amount of caffeine can compensate. That is why experts often suggest keeping coffee intake to the earlier part of the day and limiting it to a cup or two, particularly for those over 60. At this stage of life, sensitivity to caffeine can increase, and listening to the body becomes more important than ever. Another element worth noting is how coffee interacts with other healthy habits. On its own, it offers a boost in concentration and circulation, but when paired with a balanced diet and regular activity, the effects become part of a larger system that protects the brain. Some researchers have even found that combining moderate coffee with tea can create a complementary effect. Tea offering antioxidants and calm focus, coffee providing stimulation and sharper alertness. Together, they shape a rhythm that supports both energy and clarity without overwhelming the body. Beyond the science, coffee also has a human side. Think of the conversations that happen over a warm mug, the laughter, the shared stories. Social connection itself is one of the strongest protectors against memory loss, and coffee often serves as the bridge that brings people together. In this way, the value of coffee extends past the chemical compounds. It becomes part of a lifestyle that nourishes both the brain and the heart. For older adults, Those shared rituals of connection are just as vital as any nutrient. So when you pour yourself a cup of coffee, see it not only as a source of comfort, but also as a conscious choice. It is not about chasing an instant fix or relying on it as the only answer. It is about weaving it thoughtfully into your day, respecting its power, and using it to complement the other choices that sustain your mind. A simple cup, enjoyed with awareness and moderation, can be one of the quiet allies that helps you carry your memories forward with greater strength. In many corners of the world, far from busy cities and fast food chains, there are small communities where people live longer, healthier, and mentally sharper lives. One of the quiet secrets they share is the daily use of herbal teas. These are not exotic products marketed with big promises, but simple infusions of plants, oregano, sage, rosemary, dandelion, or other herbs found in the garden. Generations have relied on them not just for comfort, but for their ability to support balance in the body and calmness in the mind. Science today is beginning to confirm what tradition has long suggested. Herbal teas can provide compounds that reduce inflammation, improve circulation, and create an internal environment where memory and clarity are better preserved. Think about the way herbs work in nature. They grow under the sun, drawing minerals from the soil, producing oils and antioxidants to protect themselves. When we prepare them as tea, those same protective elements are passed on to us. For the brain, this means an extra line of support against the small but steady stressors of aging. Sage, for example, has been studied for its influence on attention and recall, while oregano is rich in natural compounds that ease the body's hidden inflammation. These are not instant solutions, but they build resilience over time. Just as you cannot strengthen muscles in one day, the brain benefits from consistent, gentle reinforcement. The beauty of herbal tea is its accessibility. You do not need to look for expensive supplements or complicated formulas. A handful of dried leaves steeped in hot water becomes a simple yet powerful daily habit. Many elders in Mediterranean cultures or the Blue Zone regions drink herbal tea not because it is trendy, but because it is part of their heritage. On the island of Ikaria in Greece, where people are famous for their longevity and low rates of memory loss, herbal teas are part of nearly every evening routine. These drinks are often enjoyed slowly, in community, creating both biological and emotional nourishment. There is also a deeper layer to this practice. Drinking herbal tea encourages slowing down. Unlike grabbing a quick soda or coffee on the go, preparing herbs requires intention. The act itself signals the body to rest, to breathe, and to reconnect with the present moment. Stress has long been known to harm memory, so the calming ritual of tea becomes as valuable as the compounds within the leaves. For older adults especially, that sense of calm and grounding is more than comfort. It is part of what helps preserve independence and mental steadiness. Of course, balance remains essential. Herbal teas are gentle, but they should be consumed with awareness. A cup or two a day is enough to enjoy the benefits without overloading the body. Choosing herbs that are clean, safe, and familiar is important. Some people prefer to grow their own small pots of rosemary or mint at home, drying the leaves to use throughout the year. Others buy simple, unblended herbs from trusted sources. Either way, the key is not quantity, but consistency. What makes herbal tea unique among the drinks we've discussed is that it connects the practical with the spiritual. It nourishes the body with protective compounds, and it nourishes the spirit by encouraging pause, reflection, and community. It is both science and tradition, both medicine for the cells and balm for the soul. When you hold a warm cup of herbal tea in your hands, you are not only drinking something pleasant, you are participating in a practice that has carried wisdom through centuries. So when you consider the choices you make each day, remember that the simplest options often carry the deepest power. Herbal teas, drawn from the earth and shared by countless cultures, remind us that health is not always about what is new or complex. Sometimes it is about returning to what is timeless, nature's way of protecting the mind and spirit, one cup at a time. As we bring these ideas together, what becomes clear is that the power to shape the future of our memory and clarity does not rest in something distant, or out of reach. It rests in the simple choices we make every day. A warm cup of tea that fills the body with protective compounds, a modest serving of coffee that wakes the mind without overwhelming it, or a gentle herbal infusion that soothes stress and brings calm. These are not just drinks. They are quiet companions that support our journey through the later years of life. They don't erase age, but they can help us carry our stories, our laughter, and our independence further than we might have thought possible. The deeper lesson is that health, especially after 60, is rarely about dramatic change. It is about consistency. Small decisions repeated day after day shape the foundation of how we feel, how we think, and how we live. You don't need to chase something extraordinary. Instead, focus on the ordinary things done with care. Choosing a nourishing drink, taking a daily walk, resting well, and staying connected to loved ones may seem simple, but together they build a wall of strength around your mind and spirit. In this way, every sip, every step, and every conversation becomes part of your protection. For older adults, this perspective is empowering. It means that even at 70, 80, or 90, you still have influence over how your days unfold. The habits you choose now can brighten your tomorrows. So instead of looking back with regret or worrying about what cannot be changed, look forward with confidence. Ask yourself, what small thing can I add today that supports my clarity tomorrow? Maybe it's replacing one sugary drink with green tea. Maybe it's enjoying a light herbal infusion before bedtime instead of turning on the television. These little shifts are the tools of resilience, and they belong to you. The heart of this message is simple. You are not powerless against aging. You are not at the mercy of fate alone. While we cannot turn back the years, we can choose to walk through them with more strength, more presence, and more peace. And perhaps the most beautiful truth is this: these choices not only protect your memory, but also add richness to your life. A tea shared with a friend becomes connection. A morning coffee becomes energy to laugh with a grandchild. An evening herbal drink becomes rest and reflection. In this way, your health is not just about longevity. It is about quality, about savoring the life you have been given. So the lesson for us all is to embrace the ordinary, to trust in the power of daily habits, and to honor the simple rituals that have carried wisdom through generations. These are not burdens. They are gifts you can give yourself each day. Gifts that add up to a sharper mind, a calmer heart, and a more joyful spirit. Now I'd love to hear your thoughts. Which of these 3 drinks do you see yourself adding into your daily routine? Tea, coffee, or herbal tea? Please share your answer in the comments below so we can learn from one another's choices and experiences. And if this video has brought you value, if it has inspired you to see your health and your habits in a new light, please subscribe to Beyond 60 Wisdom. Leave a comment with your reflections and share this video with your friends and family so that together we can spread knowledge and encouragement. We read every message, and your voice helps us make even better videos for you. Thank you truly for being here, for listening, and for allowing us to be part of your journey. With your support, we will continue to create content filled with care, hope, and wisdom to serve you each and every day.